Hello, everybody. Welcome to our final match tonight of the North American Champions League, where we have Team Feroxx going up against Elo Slayers. I am joined by the wonderful Day. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. Have we had some good games tonight? I know you've been casting some of them.
I think we had a no-show for the first one, but the last one was pretty intense time. Really made a statement here, especially with the black feather pick was pretty crazy. So
Yeah, there are some really good teams we have this season, and I know everyone on the staff side is really looking forward to the competition.
yeah, some of these, again, some of these teams are a little less known for me, just because I spend a lot of time in Vis. I do recognize a couple of the players here and there, so that is, definitely something to see. So as we get into these games, I think that's going to be pretty standard as far as the ban and draft goes. We'll probably see a Catherine and a Grace taken off here pretty early, sticking to the 2.7 meta bans. So
Yeah, and with the 2.7 meta still kind of on the fold, do you think we'll see some picks like Celeste come out?
I'm actually surprised that we have a Kroll ban right away, but that could pertain that we would like to see a mage come out of A side here. So definitely a little bit interesting of a switch up here. And it looks like B side wants to ban away that Catherine, so Grace likely going to go over to the A side. I definitely don't see throwing that one away to the enemy team. So definitely a strong pickup. Echo makes Grace pretty dangerous.
Yeah, Echo is an item that's really coming to its own here in the past patch or two. Really, we saw a lot of it at the Unified Championships last weekend.
We actually got a Lance pickup, and now Lance is another hero that a couple teams have picked up. That Echo to echo that Githian wall can be definitely a lot of CC, makes it very difficult for teams to get around the map, try to get around the fight. I don't see the Grace not getting picked, so I definitely think that's something A side or B side has to be planning on.
Way, but it does look like Scarf is going to make his way up towards the lane there. Do you think we'll see any early aggression out of either of these teams?
I think the Glaive Scarf has a lot more potential for early game engagement, but it is Lance looking to rotate over into the enemy jungle, but Grace is going to spot him out, get a couple hits down. Nothing too dangerous there. I'm actually surprised that Grace isn't the one being aggressive right now. But Scarf and Glaive splitting the ambience here in the back and accelerate their builds, and A-Side is actually doing the same.
Yeah, we see Captain Bloodtime just come out and decide to fight a little bit, poke each other, let their carries get the ambient gold. And it looks like both teams, they're rotating through, but Scarf is going to actually end up, well, coming back, it looks like. But Vox is going to have to that lane. And there's so much emphasis, I think, on this Elder Treant now with the changes that were made in the last update, too.
Yeah, it definitely can be, and it does appear that Scarf is going to be in the lane. He does have a pretty quick clear, especially once you get some crystal power ramped up, so I think that is probably the safest bet to hold off this Fox, but Grace comes in with the Benediction and gets some good damage down onto Vox. Book of Eulogies will allow him to heal up a little bit, but thanks to some changes on that item as well, it's not going to be quite as potent as it has been in the past.
Yeah, and something interesting here to point out is we do see Lance starting out with his Impale instead of his Gifting Wall, and it's kind of something you see that splits. Do you think that was the right choice for his level 1 ability?
I do think the Impale, because of the amount of damage that it has, is definitely very, very useful, but it is Vox now rotating into the jungle, trying to clean up a little bit of that Elder, or that Treant there, get some health back, and Grace is doing the same on the enemy side, but Lance is coming, and Grace is very, very low. Who's going to get it? Holy Nova comes through. It is the Impale from Lance securing that, but Grace's speed is going to allow her to get out safely. And Glaive is going to find a lonesome Sky in the back of the jungle there, pushing a little too far for how early this Sky is right now.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive from Sky right there, and we're going to have Elo Slayers here. They're going to rotate down here and take out this Elder Treant. 154. You used to never see that kind of gold from that, but recent changes makes it a little bit more of a priority for teams.
Yeah, it definitely is, and as Grace and Glaive are low, they have to be very careful here. Fortunately for Glaive, that stun didn't come through, and with a Boots activation out of Grace, the Surrey Strike! Will Elixir be able to come in and find this kill? Target lock is now on. Forward barrage is coming out. It is going to be Lance picking that kill up, but a beautiful execution from Elixir. That was some good Sky play. I'm excited to see this Sky going forward here now.
Yeah, and Sky gets that Treant too from Scarf. That Surrey Strike over the wall to set up that kill was incredible. I think Sky did that Surrey Strike looking to get the kill onto Grace, but Grace got away, but Glaive definitely a good consolation prize.
Yeah, it's a good use of that Surrey Strike getting over the wall. It's so much time that she cut down having to go around. And now Glaive is looking to find Vox. One more basic attack will do it, but a root coming out of Lance will save the carry's life, and obviously the healing proc there will do. Now as Sky's coming in, there's a lot of damage down onto Scarf, and Elixir on the Sky is definitely going to be scary going forward. But that is everybody going to be getting out here safely, and Sky going to take a little bit of the wave there. She knows it's going to die, and Lance will be looking to do the same. 4 minutes in, the jungle has intensified. That shop is available, and we see B-side making good use of that. Heavy Steel picked up for Glaive. What do you think the first item we're going to see here is?
I think with Glaive going with that Heavy Steel, we're definitely going to see that Sorrow Blade first. And I think Tension Bow would have definitely worked out a lot better for Glaive going into this Sky, because Skies usually want to get to their 3 items and ramp up their damage and not put a whole lot of defense. So that Tension Bow proc definitely could have worked out well. But looking at the farm numbers here for jungle, Sky has just over double the farm of Glaive. So maybe not the way that Glaive was hoping this would go into the Sky.
Definitely not, and Sky does have a faster clear than Glaive, but it shouldn't be this much faster, so that just really shows the rotations out of A side so far have just been on point. And Vox level 6, that ultimate is now available, wait for it, it is a silence, and that is a pretty good useful tool, especially if Lance is able to help set up a good stun. But now Sky's finding a lot of damage on Glaive. He's going to have to run over the wall, and now it is Sky on the run taking a lot of damage. Fountain comes out. Grace is taking very, very low here. Will they get the kill? Fountain comes out a little bit too late, and now it is B-side on the run. Surrey Strike comes through, and Glaive with the boots is going to be able to get out safely. But I don't think the turret is going to survive if the whole team rotates up. It does appear they're going to. I just don't think there's anything that Glaive can do to stop. He doesn't have enough wave clear to do anything about it, so that should be a pretty decent chunk of gold now going over to A-side.
Yeah, Elixir playing very aggressive on the Sky. Surrey Strike's right into that Tri Bush. 2 to try and pick up that kill, but we got another fight going on here.
A really well-placed death from above. Cleans up 2. It is going to be Vox getting 1. Not letting the aggression up. They're going in on Scarf. Will that be an ace? The impale comes through. Cleans up an ace. And now as this ace wave pushes into the turret, that should be turret number 2. Bringing the gold lead almost 5,000 for A-side now. As well as they'll likely look to rotate down through the jungle. Glaive is only level 5. So maybe not the advantage we would have liked to see. But that is now a level 6 Vox with 2,200 gold in his pocket. That is going to be a huge threat once he gets the chance to shop.
Yeah, and Elixir playing very well in the sky. Just had 2 great death from above. That one right there was a stun onto Grace, I believe. And when they fought in the jungle shop last time, it really zoned out Grace and picked up that kill. And it looks like Elixir is going to be going for that Eve of Harvest second item. Do you agree with that, or do you think Elixir should be going for a Broken Myth instead?
With as far ahead as they are right now, I can definitely see either really being good. Obviously, with the amount of burst that a glaive can have, especially with the Sorrow Blade complete, the healing wouldn't be a bad thing. But I think we are far enough ahead that a Broken Myth could really start to push that advantage and really make it hurt. As we're almost at 5,000 gold lead now for A-side.
Yeah, they are getting pretty far ahead here. I'd imagine they'd start to prioritize that gold mine soon and try to push that advantage even further.
Yeah, I mean, the changes to gold mine giving 400 gold to the team now is definitely a huge change, as well as it fills up a little bit earlier, so it can definitely be game-changing. Angel's looking to set something up over the wall, but I just don't know if Glaive has the damage right now. It's not looking good for him. Fountain comes out, does save Elix Hill. They're going to clean up Scarf. And now that it is Grace left to her own devices, Poison Shiv making short work of this fight. It's now going to be another turret, third turret going over to A-side, as well as they should very easily be able to clean up this gold mine. Again, buffed now to 400 gold for each of the team members. It is going to be Elix Hill completing that Eve of Harvest, though. But that gold lead 7,000 now in 8 minutes, up 9-1. Looking really, really good. This Vox is really getting incredibly far ahead. Level 9 to the level 7 of Scarf.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about this Vox build here for a second. He has the Poison Shiv and the Breaking Point. And we've recently been seeing Poison Shiv, Sorrow Blade, and then into a Bone Saw Breaking Point or something along those lines. And really, you don't really see a lot of damage from this build, but that last fight, he had 10 Breaking Point stacks, which just shows that they're that far ahead that Elo Slayers is just not even building enough defense where Vox can just build these attack speed items and ramp up the Breaking Point stacks.
Yeah, and it does look like he's probably going into a Bone Saw for his last item. He did pick up some attack speed. Has not picked up the piercing yet. Not that he really needs it because there's no armor built, but all heroes do have that natural armor and shield, so definitely can be helpful. And he's sitting on more than enough gold for it, so I definitely think with this Blazing Salvo being built, will be that third attack speed item coming out. Actually, might even be a Tornado Trigger, it's looking like, now with the Lucky Strike pickup. And
Vox is going to pick up an Infusion, too.
Level 9 Infusion as they find a stun and look on Scarf. Now, Elix Hill's coming in very aggressive on this Sky, looking really good. The Divine Intervention comes through, keeping the team a little healthy here, but they are on the back foot. Both Elix Hill and the Vox are infused. They really ought to be looking for a fight here. Vox level 10 really need to be pushing this advantage early. Good Sonic Zoom over the wall. He is going to find Scarf. He will now turn his attention back onto the rest of the team. Glaive is going to drop. Sonic Zoom not quite enough to avoid the stun. And Grace should be able to make it out here alive. Maybe not. Githian Wall coming out of Lance is going to keep her out of the base. And that was an incredible fight coming out of A-side here. So this is looking like a pretty one-sided match so far. It's been just outplay after outplay. Now Glaive dropping very low again. Dragon's Fire comes through, not quite enough to find any kills. Death from Above comes through onto Grace. They are able to find the Sky. Will they be able to find the Grace? That is an ace. Goodness. And that is a 10.5 minute win now for A-side. That was pretty impressive Sky play, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with this Sky play here. They picked up the infusions on the carries there, and they knew what they needed to do, and they just kept shoving it down their throats. Very impressive play here from Team Feroxx.
Yeah, really, really, really aggressive play from them constantly. Not even completing a third offensive item on Vox before they were able to close out the game. Scarf wasn't able to make it to his second offensive item, and it actually wasn't anywhere even close. So it would have been a while before this Scarf would have been able to come online. I did like the draft more on the B side, but unfortunately the Sky, the aggressive plays and just the incredible positioning, they were able to clean it up, but we'll be heading back and getting ready to get into draft number 2. What do you really expect to see as far as the draft changes here?
I think we might see some target bans here coming out from Elo Slayers. That Sky was pretty scary last game, and we had Elo Slayers play a pick that counters Sky fairly well, and just absolutely demolished it. So they might not have an answer for this Sky. And there's just so many other opponent laners out there that you can ban Vox away, and you can still pick up a Ringo or a Kestrel, or even play a mage in the lane like Celeste or Scarf. And then you also have Idris, who can be either weapon power or CP. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see the bans come out from Team Elo Slayers here.
Yeah, if we see the same level of aggression that we saw last game, Elixir really took over that early game against Glaive, and that's really just not what we want to see. We really want to see Glaive sit in that bush, get a couple attacks on the Sky. When she Surrey strikes away, follow up with that afterburn, and that's, ideally you're going to find that afterburn, position Sky into a obstacle so that the full distance doesn't come out. And Glaive should win that trade pretty consistently, but Elixir was looking pretty good on Sky last game, so it'd be interesting to see if they pull it out again. They will be on B side, so if they pick it too early, there is a lot of counter potential.
Yeah, and it's always demoralizing after a game like this when you get early gamed by a late game hero in the jungle like Sky, and then Vox, who takes a while to ramp up too. It's just got to be a blow to your team's morale right there.
Yeah, you definitely got to, if you want to be competitive in any game, you got to be able to handle, turning your attitude around off the back of a loss. So that's definitely something that we're going to have to look forward for Elo Slayers going forward here. It does look like they thought the Lance was pretty intimidating last game. I might be thinking about banning that away.
Yeah, Lance did play very well. A lot of 2-3-man impales as well as gifting walls that led to stuns. So that could have been a big problem for them last game.
Absolutely could have, but they are taking their time to think about it here, and they do end up going with the Lance. So that is going to force probably a Catherine or a Grace ban here out of B side, and it does look like they're thinking about the Catherine. We'll just have to make sure that is what they go. The other option would be to ban away something like an Arden, and then you'll have both of the power pick captains available still. This is going to be the Catherine, so hopefully Elo Slayers will, they didn't do too hot with the Grace last game, but I'm not really sure it was the Grace that was the downfall. I think that there was just a substantial amount of outplay in the jungle.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking that they might go with this Lyra pick here, just trying to switch things up a little bit. And they are in fact going to go with that Lyra, and I wouldn't be surprised here if Feroxx is going to go with Finn. I know it's a pick that they love to play and that they're very comfortable playing, but they are shadowing that Arden here.
Could be either or at this point. It looks like they're thinking about both, but Arden is probably the more useful of the two, I would say. Unfortunately, with Finn, it is kind of difficult unless you go with a siege comp to protect your allies. And Arden Vox can be a pretty strong combination, and that is what they're going to go for. And now this is going to give a bit of additional protection for the Vox. Obviously, if Vox is diving, chasing a fight, Finn's not going to be able to keep up. Arden doesn't have that problem, and in fact can help lock down a fight for Vox to not have to overcommit. So it's, the Vox did really good last game, despite going maybe a little bit different of a build. But they just looked really tight as a team together and just played it well. So it does appear there's going to be a Kestrel locked in. Will it be going in the lane or the jungle? I do think it is pretty risky to pick a Crystal Kestrel with the Lyra on your team, but that does look like that's the route they want to go, thinking about maybe a Baron or a Ringo or something in the lane. Do go with the Gwen, though.
Yeah, I like the Gwen pick. I've liked Gwen a little bit more each patch, and she can do that build where she was doing her tension bow with a breaking point and a Sorrow Blade that was so popular, I think in 2.6, and with tension bow being back where it was, can definitely put the pressure on Vox early. But with this Koshka pick, I think this game will be determined in the jungle with how Koshka can play into this CP Kestrel.
Yeah, in the early game, as long as Koshka doesn't walk onto a trap, it should be easy pickings in the jungle. Koshka's speed, as well as obviously the Crystal Kestrel, once you start taking hits from Koshka, you won't be able to activate that active camo. So it is all going to be about the positioning of the traps and making sure that Angel is baiting Elix Hill in. But that can be pretty difficult to do. Again, Koshka's speed, if you're not prepared for it, and the damage she provides can be absolutely huge. Getting into game number 2, it's going to be interesting to see, will we get double rotations from both teams again? Does look like Kestrel's clearing out the backs, but Gwen is going into lane. So mixing it up a little bit here, maybe thinking that pushing the wave is the way to go.
Yeah, they may be trying to accelerate that golden experience onto Kestrel to get her going a little bit quicker than that Koshka.
Right, level 2 is very important for the Kestrel, so that would make some sense.
Yeah, and something interesting too is a lot of these people that play CP Kestrel, they really don't like building defense on it. So it'll be interesting to see how Kestrel does it, because Koshka's stun is very long.
Oh, that's not what you want, though. That is going to be a dead Kestrel again. If Koshka gets on you, it is going to be a bad time. And now Koshka is looking to find Lyra. The Imperial Sigil comes through, maybe enough, and it is going to be enough. Double kill, both kills going on to Koshka. That's some good bounty gold here early. Isabel is taking away the jungle. I actually think they should invade here, and they are going to. Jumping right onto Kestrel. Flare comes out, making sure Kestrel's not able to invis out of there. And they're going to force her out. Not quite enough to get the kill. But, they're going back in. Lots of damage, but turret shots coming through onto Elix Hill. It will be a buckshot that finds the kill. And a double kill now going on to this Gwen. That's a good turnaround here for the Elo Slayers.
Yeah, and it's also going to help that Gwen get that build kickstart a little bit quicker too. Maybe get a tension bow quicker or Sorrow Blade depending on which route she chooses to go here. But definitely over-aggression, I think, from Koshka there.
Yeah, she just should have turned her attention to the jungle, cleaned up the farm, just made it out. It's equally more effective to get the farm even if you don't get the kill, because then you're denying the enemy. And now it is Koshka on Kestrel. They already found the Lyra. There is another double kill for Koshka, sitting at 4-1. Now should have the time to clean out this jungle. Arden rotating over. Should be pretty uncontested, as Gwen is going to have to sacrifice a lot to come down here. That's a lot of time now wasted to find a couple basic attacks onto the Arden. Now Elix Hill looking to get another Treant stolen away here. Is going to be smart and pull that out of the Imperial Sigil. This Koshka has been super aggressive now. Will they find another kill? They're going in. The flare is down. The damage is down. Angel dropping low. That is another kill going over to B-side, as Fox finds one in the lane as well. If they can find the ace here, it'd be huge. There is the ace, and they should be able to get quite a significant amount of damage down on this turret as Koshka looks for the Elder Treant. Minions are running few and far in between here, but they should be able to find turret number 1. That is 2,500 gold lead. Actually, we're sitting at about 3 now with Koshka cleaning up some jungles, so.
Yeah, and both these laner builds are very interesting to me right now. We have Fox he had double blazing salvos and a book of eulogies, and Gwen, she's got a bunch of attack speed too, and she's got the 2 open blades and a book as well. Fox, so he's going to be building that shiv. I'm interested to see which way Gwen takes this build. Is she going to go for the poison shiv and try and mirror the Vox and just out damage him, or is she going to go for a more traditional build?
I definitely hope not. Gwen's heroic perk obviously scales off the weapon power does scale off attack speed too for how frequently it's up. That raw burst damage is going to come out of either a Adventure Bow or a Sorrow Blade. Vainglory can get away with dedicating to a lot of attack speed. I didn't even notice Kestrel getting jumped on. Elixir's been so aggressive on Koshka here. That is likely going to be another kill. Lyra drops, and Vainglory is going to poke out Gwen. That's going to be another jungle rotation going over to this Koshka, as well as a Crystal Sentry dropping. This is not looking good for the side of Elo Slayers. Koshka is going to be level 6 here in just a moment. Likely going to get this Treant. Shouldn't be any way that they stop.
Yeah, Koshka got 7 and 1 already.
There we go. Yummy Cat and Frenzy is active. Will they need it for the kill? It comes out. They do find Gwen, but Elixir taking a lot of damage. One more turret shot coming through. Didn't quite get it. It is instead going to be Vainglory taking the shot and going to make it out safely. So good juggling there. And there's the rest of that rotation as Kestrel does rotate down and finds a couple of glimmer shots. It's not going to be enough for a kill. And B-side decides they're a little too low to stick around and try to find this tree. And Koshka level 6 and Kestrel just now hitting level 5. This is not looking good for the Elo Slayers right now.
It's not. And two things I've learned here from Feroxx is Koshka's chosen to go for Shatterglass first instead of the Aftershock, which I think is great. Just all that additional damage she can put onto Kestrel can just pretty much get rid of her whenever she wants to. And Arden has had this Dragon Blood contract all game and has been using it very effectively, and they've really been capitalizing on that all game.
Yeah, they definitely have been, and the low health pool that Kestrel has definitely makes it easy for a Shatterglass Koshka to get in and 1, 2, 3 attacks. That's a dead Kestrel. Kestrel finally finding some of the farm here. 13 CS here in 6 minutes. Definitely pretty far behind on Kestrel, but if they can find a good fight, they can pick up some bounty gold from Elixir as they turn their attention now onto the gold mine. 6,000-ish gold lead already, and by the time this gold mine is all said and done, it's going to be even sizably more, 6,500 now, as well as some more jungle going over to B-side. There's not much other than a miracle fight that Elo Slayers can do here. Again, the bounty is built up so much on Koshka, they need to find a kill to get that gold so they can hopefully finish something. Not even a first item yet complete on this Gwen.
Yeah, and I think Elo Slayers, they're just going to be kind of fiddling out this turret. I think that Feroxx here, they can go down and grab that sentry. They're both trees aren't used here. But it looks like
it's going to be the turret dropping. The Yummy Cat and Frenzy does come through, but the Skedaddle is going to get it out, and Yummy Cat, or the Pouncy Fun comes through. Really Death will be up in just a second. They're going to find the kill on Lyra as well. That's an ace. That is going to be another turret going over to B-side. 13-2, 8,000 gold lead, 9,000 by the time this turret is destroyed. It is looking better and better for them over and over. One more basic attack. They find Gwen right off of the respawn platform. One shot, one kill. I'm going to go with it was an accident there. It was way off the mark. But we do have a Sorrow Blade now complete for Gwen. It just hasn't quite been effective enough to clean up any of these fights. Elixir going to try to top off some health here, looking for some vision from his team. If he can jump over the wall and find Gwen, we see how fast that Koshka can take Gwen down with no defense so far. It is instead going to be Feroxx rotating down through the jungle, taking this Crystal Sentry again. And that is 1 life remaining, so taking that objective off here quickly. Almost 10,000 gold in the lead now. One more fight could really be all it takes. If they find a clean ace without staggered death timers, a good ace wave push would likely be an end of a game.
Yeah, and Koshka has opted here to go for the double Shattered Glass build. And a lot of times it doesn't work out very well, but here I think it will work out very well for them. No shielding at all for Elo Slayers, so they have no need. So there's no need for a broken wrist here. But Koshka absolutely just erases Gwen. It's
now looking to erase Kestrel as well. 3 attacks from Koshka. That is an ace now, and it's going to be a guaranteed turret as this ace wave moves in. They could find 2. They've been dominating these fights so much, I don't see why they wouldn't try to just get a burst kill Koshka does have to be careful. Fountain is just now burned, but I don't think it's enough. And that is going to be a win chalked up for now the side of Feroxx. Oh, they did find a kill on Koshka, but Vox is going to find the rest of it. And that is the game.
Goodness gracious. Elixir really just came out and dominated this entire series. Such great Sky play, such great Koshka play. Really just absolutely phenomenal jungle play.
Yeah, 14-2-3 on Elixir's Koshka. Double Shatterglass really pushing the fact that obviously Kestrel's not going to really build any defense. And then getting ahead in the lane as well was absolutely huge. You see Vox sitting here with 99 CS to the 48 of Gwen. Overall, just, the B-side here, just, again, the coordination and focusing their attacks was absolutely huge. They were able to close this one out early as well. 9.5 minutes for game number 2.
Yeah, Feroxx really just dominating this game. Dominating this series, really. Just no other words. Do you have any last remarks here before we call it a night?
Overall, the two teams that we did stream on the main channel here, that one looked absolutely amazing, and it's going to be exciting to see if they go head-to-head at any point in the future. I think that could be pretty exciting. Obviously, the Black Feather earlier was incredibly devastating, but Elixir really made a name for himself here in the NACL, so definitely something that I'm going to want to watch these games going forward. So,
yeah, definitely. Phenomenal night for us, kicking off our brand new season. I know we have a ton of games tomorrow, a ton of games Wednesday, and I know we'll have some coming later in the week and onto the weekend. It's just been a great season so far, and we're only one day in, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds as the playoffs are only 2 weeks away, I believe.
Very, very exciting. So definitely something to look forward to. A lot of these teams, might be looking to pick up some challenger spots for split number 2. I think the rosters are already locked in for split 1. So, definitely think a couple of these teams have what it takes to really push their competitive edge.
Yeah, I really think so too. This league's been dominated by really 2 teams here for the past 3 seasons. So we'll see if anyone can challenge them moving forward here. Everyone, thank you for coming out watching. I'm Shell, casting with the wonderful Daynomine. Catch him later in the week. I'm sure he'll be doing some VIS or some VG8. Give him some love on Twitter. Shoot him a follow. And a big shout out to Angel doing our camera work for us this last game. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later.